A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus said, "For I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. For you have heard that it was said to those of ancient times, 'You shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment.' But I say to you that if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. Or if you insult a brother or sister, you will be liable to the council. And if you say, 'You fool,' you will be liable to the hell of fire. So when you are offering yourself and your gift at the altar, if you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First, be reconciled with your brother or sister, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are on the way to court with them, or your accuser may hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you will be thrown in prison, and truly I tell you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny." We continue with the teaching of Jesus in this 5th chapter of Matthew, where he is laying out what it looks like to live a blessed life. We've just had this cadence of the Beatitudes. And Jesus is not washing away in a flood of mercy, washing away the demands of the law. He says you have to be as fervent for the law as the scribes and the Pharisees, and you must exceed that if you want to inherit or be a part of the kingdom or receive the kingdom of heaven. He says, you've heard it said of old in the law of Moses, you've heard it said of old that the bar is here. I tell you, the bar is here. It's not just that you'll be held liable if you murder someone. You'll be held liable if you're angry at them, if you speak ill of them. He then encourages us to not only take a closer look and have a higher bar and have a stricter standard for ourselves, but he says, before you come to bring your gift before the altar, won't you please set it aside and first go to that sister or brother with whom you are not reconciled and first make it right with them. Jesus says, I'm not so much interested in having a whole bunch of individuals who want to have a relationship with me. He says, I want to have a relationship with each of you, and I want you to have a relationship with one another that is reconciled and that is reflective of my love. And so we know that there are complicated situations in our lives. Sometimes it is as easy as saying, you know what, I'm just going to set this aside and go take up my unresolved issue with my sister or brother. Sometimes there are places in our lives, there are people in our lives for whom it's not safe for us to go and simply try and make it right there. And God knows what those relationships are. And so we mindful that where it is safe for us, physically, emotionally, and otherwise, we're encouraged to go and make it right with a brother and sister. And for those more complicated places, those more complicated relationships, there are still other ways that we can forgive and find reconciliation and atonement with God, and reconciliation with appropriate safety and distance. But for the less complicated cases in our lives, perhaps we can take this as an invitation from Jesus this day to do a scan of our lives, to rifle through all of the relationships and see if there's any place that in our hearts and minds where there's an impediment between us and another, where distance has cropped up or where a small disagreement is still festering, and perhaps take this as the opportunity to take Jesus up on his command, on his offer, on his invitation, that in order to inherit the kingdom, we must make right all those relationships that we can make right with our brothers and sisters. May God be with you in this prayerful discernment. May God be with you in your movement toward reconciliation with all the others in your life that are safe for you to reconcile with. And may God bless you as you seek to grow more fully into the image of Christ, the one who loves and forgives and is reconciled and reconciling. And may God bless you on this day. May God bless you and keep you this day and always. Amen.